Hi, I'm Tyler, and welcome to another episode of my Christian Music Week reviews. Each week I take 5 releases, albums, EPs, or singles, and after I listen to them all week, I come back here and I review them. I share what I think about them. So without further ado, let's get to this week's first release. Former Third Day lead singer Mac Powell's new album, New Creation. Former Third Day lead singer Mac Powell's new album, New Creation. Let's dive into it. So, pretty good album here. Stylistically, a mix of southern rock, worship, folk, and country. And as for the lyrics here, touches on a couple different themes. So some of the songs, Mac talks about how Jesus, the river of life, washed Mac's sins away, making him a new creation that will never be the same. And on the other three songs, Mac talks about how Jesus' everlasting arms and joy is the strength that he needs to face whatever he faces in this life. Up next, We Are Messengers' new album, Wholehearted Plus. We Are Messengers' new album, Wholehearted Plus. Let's dive into it. But before I do, let me just say, this came across as a request from You Can't Have It, the Riley Girl. Thanks, You Can't Have It, the Riley Girl, for requesting this album. And also Aaron Cole's album that I'll get to after I'm done with We Are Messengers here. But let's dive into We Are Messengers. So, pretty good album here. Stylistically, definitely pop rock on some songs, and then some worship songs on other songs. And also, too, we have straight up pop elements at some points. And there's one song that's definitely a southern rock track. And as for the lyrics here, pretty good lyrics here. Two main themes to this album. The first one is talks about how God, in His grace through Jesus, loves us at our worst with His wholehearted love. And then the other theme talks about when heartache comes, the point is not to hurry through it, but rather to look for the beauty in it and how God is trying to use it to draw us closer to Him. He's walking with us through it all and will work all things for good. Up next, Aaron Cole's new album, Two Up, Two Down. Aaron Cole's new album, Two Up, Two Down. Let's dive into it. Thanks again, You Can't Have It, the Riley Girl, for requesting this. Now let's dive into it. So, pretty good album here. Not as good of an album as I thought it was going to be from the singles, but still a pretty good album here. Stylistically, evenly blended between the hip-hop tracks. And when I say the hip-hop tracks, some of the hip-hop tracks are hard-hitting, even incorporating trap influences at times. And at other points, kind of takes a little bit more of a chill, lo-fi approach. And the other side of the coin is the R&B and pop influences that make up the other half of the tracks here. To be clear, one side will not focus on one half of the album and then another side on the other half of the album. They're scattered throughout the album, but overall, when you count the tracks that each style is included, that includes each style, it's equally half. And now let's dive into the lyrics here. So overall, this album seems to be a little bit of a journey for Aaron Cole. He starts the album trying to figure out who he is in the midst of dealing with other people's expectations of him. But by the end of the album, he decides that living for God's glory and impacting people is more important than radio airplay and being the hottest artist around. Also, in between the albums, he reflects on how through hard work and with God's help in the way that only God could help, he made it through the gritty to pursue his dreams. Aaron made it through the gritty to pursue his dreams. Up next, Angie Rose's extended version of her Unstoppable EP, length extension of her Unstoppable EP, Unstoppable, United We Can. Now that I reviewed your request, You Can't Have It, the Riley Girl, and Thinks You Can't Have It, the Riley Girl again for your 2 requests, both were good. Let's get back to finishing the rest of the show. Angie Rose with Angie Rose's album-length extension of her EP Unstoppable, United We Can. Now let's dive into it. So what's different with this album from the EP? Well, in addition to including all the original songs, she also includes songs that were previously only released as singles on a extended release. And then there's also a new song called United We Can. And also, there's some global and Spanish remixes here. 2 Spanish remixes, 1 global remix. And then also 2 live versions and an acoustic version of Infatuation. Now let's dive into what I think of this album here. So, pretty good album here, stylistically. Definitely keeps the energy, whatever style she uses. Hip-hop is the main one, then Latin. Yes, as I already hinted, there are some Spanish lyrics here. Mostly English, though, but definitely some Spanish here, too. And pretty neat to see how she incorporates the Latin elements on this album. And then some pop influence, too. And as for the lyrics here, she talks about how she relies on God to pursue her dream. It could be how because of God, she's pursuing her dreams in the valley. No matter what opposition may come at her, no matter what temptations may come at her. She also talks about how she wants a boy that will treat her like gold. And she also talks about how Christ has turned her sadness into joy. Up next, our last release for today, Blessing Offor's double single, Brighter Days and Tin Rough. Blessing Offor's double single, Brighter Days and Tin Rough. Let's dive into it. So, pretty good double single here. Now let's go into a song by song. So, first song is Brighter Days. Kind of the more upbeat of 2, though has some mellow parts too. It has piano, drum, and violin instrumentally here. And as for the lyrics here, pretty good lyrics here. Talks about how we've never been through dark days like these before. But it also expresses the hope that love will find us and that there will be brighter day. And that love will find us in the midst of these dark days. And that there will ultimately be brighter days. And then the other song, Tin Rough, which he originally did on Chris Tomlin's album, Chris Tomlin and Friends, which I reviewed on this channel. Good album. But to be honest, Tin Rough didn't really capture my attention as some of the other songs did. But going back and listening to the song now in the double single, I actually kind of like this song. So Tin Roof is definitely a mellower song here. Instrumentally, we have piano, and as for lyrics here, again, pretty good lyrics here. He talks about how people talk about what heaven will be like, but Weston hopes that heaven will be like rain on a tin roof, washing away all his sorrows. Well, that's it for this week. Come back next week for 5 more releases. If you like what's on this video, please subscribe. I put out and turn on the notifications. I put out videos every Friday at 9:30 a.m. Pacific time. Also, if you have any thoughts on today's releases or what I may have said about them, let me know down in the comments below. Also in the comments, you can let me know if there's any awesome releases that came out today that you want to see in next week's video. Also, check out the playlist section for my Music Muffin Dreams playlist available here on YouTube and also on Spotify, featuring this month's songs from artists like Mike Scher, Aaron Schust, and others. So go and check that out if you're interested. Well, go now. See you next week. Bye!